Hey everybody, this is Emily from Local Tasting Tours, downtown Halifax food and walking tours with tastings from locally owned eateries. You can find us at www.localtastingtours.com. Welcome to our podcast. Today we're doing a coffee tasting at Smiling Goat Organic Espresso Bar, and that's located right next to the Lord Nelson Hotel in Halifax, across from the Public Gardens. We are here with the owner, Geoffrey Creighton. We're going to be tasting a pretty incredible coffee today, and we'll get to that later because it's pretty special, and Jeff will describe it. They've got a really great website at smilinggoat.ca. You can also find them on Twitter at smilinggoatspro. Jeff, you had a really interesting story about how you chose the name for your shop.
Yeah, the reason we chose Smiling Goat is if you look up the origins of coffee, you'll come across the legend of Kaldi, who is an Ethiopian goat herder. And one day Kaldi's tending his flock of goats and he falls asleep. When he wakes up, the goats are nowhere around. So he goes off in search of them and he finds them a lot higher up on the Ethiopian mountainside than he's ever been before. And they're up on their hind legs and they're dancing around. They have huge smiles on their faces. So he says, what is going on? And he notices every once in a while the goats will go over to this tree and eat these bright red cherries. So he's curious and he's hungry after his search. He goes over and he has a few cherries. Pretty soon he's dancing around, a huge smile on his face. Now those cherries, of course, are what we now know as a coffee cherry, the pit of which is a coffee bean.
I love that story. You're going to have a busy summer this year, as usual, I'm sure. We really enjoyed watching the Pride Parade last year from this spot, sort of like front row seats. Jeff, you're also a successful local photographer, and I can see your work on the walls here. It's pretty exceptional. Is there a website where we can find your work?
Yeah, my website is geoffreycreighton.com, geoffreycreighton.com.
It's really beautiful work. Our guest today is Natalie McLellan from the Museum of Natural History, which isn't too far up the street here. And Natalie is the curator of interpretation. And what's that position exactly?
I am the manager of all the education and outreach programs at the museum. So developing new programs and online content, anything that's working to bring people into the museum and to teach them once they're there.
You have a pretty great, we say exhibit?
Exhibit, yes. We've got, right now we've got a visiting exhibit from Seattle called Out of This World, Extraordinary Costumes from Film and Television. It's been very popular. We've got costumes, original costumes from films and TV series such as Star Trek and Star Wars, Blade Runner, Indiana Jones, Terminator, all kinds of great films with a bit of a cult following. So it's been very popular.
I'm glad that you're doing the tasting with us today, Natalie. I understand you're a coffee fan, are you?
Absolutely.
So let's get to this tasting. Jeff, I wanted people to know that you guys at Smiling Goat make coffee differently than anyone else in town.
Yeah, we've got, we do coffee a little bit differently across the board, but we have something called a clover, which is a automated French press, basically. A vacuum French press is the official name, and it is something that we use to brew coffee by the cup in about 45 seconds.
And it makes a wonderful coffee. Can you tell us a little bit about the blend we're trying today?
Yeah, today we're actually drinking a single origin, not a blend. It's an award winner from Costa Rica called La Cumbra de Dota. It's a 4th place Cup of Excellence winner.
Natalie's having a sip. Jeff is really good at describing the tasting notes. We were getting some chocolate right off the top.
Yeah, we've had this coffee 2 different ways. We've had it first brewed on our clover, and that way there's a real silky mouthfeel to it. Milk chocolate, cherry sweetness, a little bit of a spiciness, and a real lovely peppery aftertaste. The second way that we're having it is as a pour over. So this is something that you could do at your house. Have us grind it, or grind it at home. And this way, you're still that kind of spicy herbness to it, and that lovely peppery aftertaste. We kind of think this one tastes a little bit like a salad, really. A coffee salad. You got the herbs, the tomato, the sweetness, and then that peppery aftertaste.
Natalie, what's your take on it?
Fantastic. Very smooth. Best salad I've had in a while.
I think I like the pour over better. I don't know why. It seems the flavor was right up front, or yeah.
Some coffees perform better in the clover. Some coffees perform better as espresso, and that's what we encourage. Come in and try it different ways.
This has been a really neat experience trying coffee this way. I really appreciate it. I just like to ask a couple of questions before we finish up. Natalie, I was wondering, since local tasting tours is all about reminding locals and getting tourists to discover some local gems in the area. And I was wondering if you had a favorite locally owned shop or business in town or even anywhere in Nova Scotia. I know you're from Cape Breton.
In town, I'd probably have to say Woozles. I'm a huge fan of the bookstore. I'm an avid reader. I used to actually clean the store when I was in university. It was one of my part-time jobs, and I would spend my Sunday evenings cleaning Woozles, and it was my favorite part of the week.
Woozles is a fantastic store. They say they're for and about children. They're on Birmingham Street. And Jeff, I was just wondering, with our tasting tours, it gets us all thinking about foods we love. Did you have a favorite food from your childhood that brings nice memories?
Yeah, I grew up here in Nova Scotia, and my mom was from the Valley, and we used to go there quite often in the summertime. And rhubarb pie, fresh rhubarb from the Valley. That is my very favorite thing.
It's always that first fresh fruit of spring. Thanks so much, guys. It's really been a pleasure, and I feel like this is an illuminating coffee experience. Thanks, everybody. This is Emily signing off with Local Tasting Tours. Our tours run 6 days a week at 1:30 p.m. from the Seaport Farmers Market. And don't forget, you can buy your tickets online. Our tours are running all the way through to October 15th this year, and you can find us online at localtastingtours.com. Like us on Facebook, join us on Twitter, eat local, take a tour, take a bite out of Halifax.